Sziasztok, ez itt a Party Culture online kulturális magazin interjú rovata, és ma este Székesfehérvárról jelentkezünk. Ha itt ül mellettem Nick Warren, akit azt hiszem senkinek nem kell bemutatni, neki kicsit is szereti az elektronikus zenét. So hi Nick, welcome to Hungary.
Thank you very much, it's good to be here.
How do you feel yourself here?
Good, I always enjoy Hungary. You know, I've been here many times, made my album here for Global Underground many years ago, and the parties are always fantastic, so yeah, it's great to be here.
Okay, the first question is you started out more than 20 years ago playing playing this music, and when you started, what did you envision yourself and the whole music scene 20 years from then, and did it turn out something like that?
No, not at all, because when I started, really, there was no such thing as a touring superstar DJ thing. It didn't exist, you know. We were just DJing in our hometowns and to maybe the 50 or 100 of people on a Thursday night, and you know, it was fun. I started DJing because I was always addicted to buying music, and so I had all these records at home, and I wanted people to hear them. So it wasn't started as a career. I didn't think it was going to evolve into anything. You know, it was just fun.
What type of music did it start with?
I started off with anything, with everything. You know, it was a mess. So lots of. At the start, it was stuff like New Order, Depeche Mode, maybe some James Browns, some early hip hop, some early house, and some reggae. It was just a mixture of everything. It wasn't very good.
And then when you started playing electronic music, so that's what the question was, that what do you think it's going to be like in 10, 15 years? So did you think that the electronic music is going to be this big?
The great thing about it is you still don't know what's going to happen to electronic music. Each year it evolves and it changes, and the scene moves, and new sounds come, and so it's very hard to predict it. I had no idea where it's going to evolve. I think it's been amazing how it's grown and been so popular, but then I had no idea back then.
A few days ago you played in Miami at the Winter Music Conference, and can you tell us something about the feeling, the essence of the festival, and how was your party there?
Miami's a very special week. It's the only week of the year where all the DJs are in the same place at the same time. For the festivals in the summer, it's good because you see a few people, but then in Miami everybody's there, so it's great to hang out and swap stories and see people, say hi, and the parties are always really good. It's hot. It's in the middle of their summer. There's maybe 15 or 20 parties every night. So yeah, it's good.
And is the US crowd any different than the European?
Yeah, I'd say it's not as good. It's not as good as.
Yeah, it's nice to hear.
It's the truth, really. You know, it's I think Europe has got a really cool crowd. In Hungary, for instance, the energy in the clubs is really strong, and people are excited, and you know, they scream and they shout. That you don't get so much of that in the USA.
So you started way out west with Jody in '94, and how did you meet each other, and how did you know that you want to work with that guy?
We lived about maybe 3 minutes away from each other.
That was in Bristol.
Yeah, in Bristol. And I was working in a record store back then, and Jody was at that time really into hip hop and drum and bass, so he would come into the store and buy the promos and stuff. And so I'd been in the studio a couple of times with Massive Attack because I was working with those guys then, and I really enjoyed the production, but then I didn't really know my way around a studio yet, so I was looking for someone in Bristol to work with. Spoke to Jody's dad because he was a good friend, and he said, well, come in with Jody and see if it works, and it worked really well.
And when you work with Jody, for example, on a new album or any tracks, you work together a lot, or you work separately and you fine-tune in the end?
It's a mixture of both. We both start music and then come together. Now that there's programs on the laptops like Ableton and so forth, it's so easy to work at home. I can sit in my front room and start to write music. So yeah, we tend to start things and then come together and build them from there.
And now it's more than 6 months, I think, passed since you put out Villa Machine. And what are the receptions of it, and how did it do?
It's done really well. It's been received really well, and the sales have been good. There's the remix album that comes out in, I think, 3 weeks' time. We've had maybe 20 remixes done of all the tracks. Elkie Klein's done a mix, Guy Brato, Guy J. There's many mixes. So that's the next thing that'll be released, as I say, in about 3 weeks' time.
And talking about Ableton, that you changed your sets also to play on Ableton. That did you think this is gonna happen a few years ago?
No, I always said no. I would never use a laptop.
That's why I ask you. And when did the change come? And what do you think the future will hold with Ableton?
It's the change came about 3 months ago. I'm enjoying it. I do worry that maybe some of the energy is lost with that sudden mixes and stuff.
Yeah, excuse me, a couple of years ago you said in an interview that you don't want to look like reading emails during a party.
Right. So now I look like I'm reading emails at a party. I think that with the new Pioneer CDJ 2000s, I will move over to those next. Part of the reason I changed is because all my music now comes through to the laptop, and all I was doing was spending all week burning CDs. I think, well, why do it? Because it's all in there already. Whereas now with the CDJ 2000s, I can get my USB stick, put them all in there, boom, and away I go. And then I'll be moving in the booth again. Whereas I find that with Ableton, I'm quite stationary a lot of the time. I'm improving now, and I'm getting more into the flow and interacting with the crowd more. But at first, I found it fairly boring. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay. So at Hope Recordings, you are